All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SSW YakShaver Sprint Review and Retro. This is Sprint 83. And the sprint goal was to complete the AI-assisted development workflow, which has been not completed in this sprint. Once we go through the breakdown of the PBIs in the sprint, we will get into more details of that. The sprint was 1 week. In the timesheet for that sprint, Baba was full-time on YakShaver. Louis and Stephen were partially, as they were either on client work or took some days off. I was as well on client work and sick this week. And then Zeno was working on YakShaver as well, but he moved on to client work. So, any questions so far? No? Sorry?
Not yet.
Great, thank you. I will move on to the sprint. So as you can see, we have a whole bunch of dones this sprint, and Louis finished off a feature request to allow custom prompt settings and save them as presets, and he recorded a done video for that. Adam and Callum, have you seen the done video?
Yes.
Who did the done video?
Louis.
Did Lewis call me for this one?
I did not call, but I did send the email.
Okay, with that design, so I wouldn't see it.
Do you want to have
emails.
Do you want to?
He can call me later, but ideally you want to get this watched before the sprint review because you want to know if there's a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. The next item was on the YakShaver desktop app to allow more flexible custom instructions, and Baba will give us some insight on this PBI.
Yeah, sure. Previously in YakShaver desktop app, system prompt was hard-coded and users' custom prompts were kind of ignored. So that's why we made a system prompt more generic. And so YakShaver always puts priority on users' custom prompt now. Do you have any questions, Kevin, Adam?
Yeah, I've tried out the new prompt. I think it's a lot better. So nice work. It now listens to my custom prompt a lot more closely.
Yeah, happy here.
Thank you, Baba. The next item is we sent out the user feedback form to our current tenants to capture some feedback from them. Marketing will send it out tomorrow because Monday, start of the week, nobody's gonna look at that email. So we hope to increase the participation rate for that when we send it out tomorrow. Any questions on that? No, I will move on. Stephen worked on creating a separate leaderboard page on the portal, and I hand it over to Stephen so he can show it to us.
Yeah, let me share my screen. So on our portal, we have a separate page for leaderboard, and when user click on it, they can see the detailed leaderboard for the users and projects. And also there's a drop down. They can select how many they want to show on one page, and there's different pages. Yeah, for this one is just a starting point for leaderboard on the portal. We are going to have a series of PBIs to adding more features. For example, user can select the data range, and also user can see more details when they click on person. For example, click a person, they can see which is the project that person shaved on, etc. So that's the leaderboard. Back to you, Tom. Do we have any questions?
I would definitely get this checked and then do a done video.
Yeah, of course. Because this is just a starting point for leaderboard. There are many features to be added on. I will do a done video when I finish that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The column for the number of shaves, I think I would like you to put a data bar there so it visually looks wider, and the gap between the name and the shaves is very large. So
Yeah.
I think you could probably just bump up the font by a point. And
yeah,
it's too far away.
Okay. Yeah.
Are there PBIs to look at the design again? I just think there's a bit of duality going on having the two columns side by side, and there's no visual hierarchy towards which one's more important.
It was intended that you showed just the top 10 and then you click a link that takes you further. So they're not really meant to be like that. They're meant to go somewhere else.
Okay. Because for the top 5, user can view it on the dashboard. And if they want to see more details, more peoples, they can go to leaderboard for details.
Okay, if there are no other comments, I will move on with the sprint review.
Back to Tom.
I'm gonna take over the screen share. And then the last PBI is still in progress, but since it was tied to our sprint goal, I'll let Baba give some details on that.
Yeah, sure. Could you please open that PBI?
Yeah.
So this was for allowing users to switch between releases on YakShaver desktop app. So for example, in some scenarios, AIs can create PRs, and we want to test it quickly without installing, without downloading and installing that app again. So for this one, there was extra work involved, such as we needed to migrate our publisher and auto-update features to another package. So it allows multiple release channels. This is done, but I'm currently working on YakShaver desktop app, adding settings where users can switch between these multiple releases. It's currently in progress. And here is like basic UI example. So in the settings, there is a drop-down, and in that drop-down, you can select PR release or stable latest release.
Right. So what that will allow me to do, Baba, is I will be able to send a prompt to a cloud agent and say, implement this new feature.
Yes.
And then once it's done, it will trigger a new build. And then in my YakShaver desktop app, I can select that build. It will just download the latest version from that build, and I can immediately test it, confirm it works, and then we can merge it in and deploy it to everyone. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Currently, I already added a new workflow, which triggers in PRs and a new commits to the PR. So it will create pre-release, and then we can see that in the settings and switch to.
Can't wait for that to be done, because that's going to make a lot of the issues I'm reporting, going to give me the power to easily squash a bunch of them in parallel. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. That concludes the current sprint. Let's jump into the code coverage. Code coverage has been very similar. It got reduced by 0.1%. and we had in this sprint 2 deployments, as well as 4 deployments for the desktop app. Any questions so far? Okay, let's look at the application health. We had a few spikes in this sprint, but they are, as usual, just some automated scripts that look for sensitive information, as well as PHP scripts, which we obviously don't have, so there's no worry. And we had 100% availability. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Cool. So this is the monthly usage of the YakShaver leaderboard. As you can see, Michaela went very crazy. She is on spot number 1 with 42 shaves, and then close behind that, Adam, and then Jake. Looking at the roadmap, we increased the YakShaver Agent 2.0 Epic and by 15%, and the rest of the epics have been pretty much the same. No work has been done there. Any questions on our product roadmap?
Nope.
Very good, thank you. The next section is the backlog stats. We have 95 new PBIs, 66 of them are with the YakShaver label, and we completed 33 PBIs with a net change of plus 62 PBIs. Then Baba did an item for research and development, which is research and evaluate the feasibility of supporting Electron.js across various release pipelines, including per pull request and 90 build configurations. There have no changes been to the AI tools that we have been using. And now here, some information to the current tenants that we have on YakShaver. We have a total of 32 tenants, including SSW as well as our Northwind tenant. We have 4 new tenants, and 3 of them signed up this week. And we have a total of 2 shaves from those 3 new tenants. SSW had 44 shaves this sprint, and that's a net change of minus 50 shaves compared to previous. Any questions on that?
No, that's fine.
Good, no questions. Callum, I hand the co-pilot stats over to you.
Yeah, thanks. So looking at the stats, we had Tom, who spoke a lot throughout the whole meeting. Baba contributed the second most with a fair bit less than Tom actually, and then Stephen chimed in on occasion as well. And looking at the next action point, refactoring the desktop app to support generalized LM clients, which is definitely an awesome feature that's going to let us change models, which would be cool for Chinafy as well with DeepSeek. And what was that? Stephen to lead and break down the work into subtasks, which is oddly specific, and I'm not sure what that means. Does that line up with what you guys said?
Yes, that's pretty accurate. And we put an emphasis on breaking the task down because it was an 8 and very generic. And once we looked into it, yeah, we saw that we needed to break it down into smaller points.
All right, cool. And let's carry on with the retrospective. So what went well this sprint? Well,
Sorry,
Baba,
just to
oh, go ahead.
just that. You used YakShaver continually to build the first version of YakShaver. Now you've moved on to MCP. Are you using YakShaver in the same way? Are you using it just as well? Or do you think you're not using it as well as before?
I personally still use the current Teams app, the current legacy version of YakShaver.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the desktop version is quite there yet in terms of reliability. I am using it a lot because I'm testing it, but it's not quite good enough yet. But we're working on it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I do use a desktop app when I'm recording by myself, but for things that if I need someone else with me, I'll obviously go to the Teams app to call someone.
I
Yeah,
guess
for me,
the sorry,
sorry.
Steven, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, if a proper YakShaver report, I still use a team app, but for my personal project, I prefer YakShaver desktop app because it's easier to
All
configure.
good. Thank you.
Okay. For me, I'm using Snagit, and for desktop YakShaver desktop backlog, I use desktop app to test it out.
Yeah. So I guess the conclusion is the desktop app, because it's still partially experimental and in high development. It's
Want me to
pretty
do that?
much. Sorry, Adam, you're breaking up.
I think he's currently boarding the plane.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's continue with the sprint retrospective. Steven, give us a summary.
Sure. For the what went well part, Baba said we have refactored the hard-coded system prompt to allow user to custom their prompt, and it's being prioritized. And also, Baba's mentioned we have migrated desktop app publisher channel and changed to Electron Builder from Electron Forge. So it will support the way we want to test the new AI assistant PBI execution. For the what didn't well part, Tom said we had a lot of back and forth with marketing for the tenant feedback form. And for what's going to be improved, Tom said, as soon as we have found some extra effort need to do to complete the PBI, we need to let the PO know and let the PO and Scrum Master know, and to create new PBIs for that. And I mentioned Alvin gave us a feedback that they have a Chinese client. They are very interested in YakShaver desktop app, but they require DeepSeek integration. So next year, we're going to start support different large language model and local MCP servers. Yeah, that's all for the retros. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Steven. Any comments or feedback from you guys?
Nope.
Awesome. That concludes then the sprint retro, and let's move on to the sprint planning. So for sprint 84, we decided that the sprint goal for that sprint will be to make the LLM client generic so that we can support multiple AI models and services, so that we can, for example, support DeepSeek and onboard potential clients in China. Are you happy with that, Callum and Adam?
Does the sprint goal mean it's the thing we do first, or is it the thing we do last?
The sprint
Because
goal.
I think the sprint goal last sprint was the thing we did last, right?
Well, we didn't do last, but that's where my feedback came into play. There was some like we didn't anticipate that we needed to rewrite some of the libraries that we were using to support the release channels, and that blew up the PBI.
Right. Well, I just want to make sure we still finish that off because I understand it's in progress. So
right.
hopefully we'll still finish that off, and then make sure the next one and the LM selection is also done, I guess, if that's the plan.
So the plan is for Baba to finish that off, of course, first.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, so basically the plan is, as mentioned before, Baba to finish off the AI-assisted development workflow. Then Stephen to make some improvements on the portal leaderboard, as mentioned before, and as well as the LLM client to make the LLM client more generic so we can support different models and services.
Cool.
Yeah. If there are no further questions or comments.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I will upload this video to our SSW YakShaver channel where you can view it. That's all for the sprint retro and planning. Thank you for your time. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.